Hello Venom fans, it's time for another Sean Shop Talk video. What we're going to do today is we're going to be doing an oil change on an x21RS. The reason I chose this bike is there's a few more little details with this bike that there isn't with other bikes. So what I'm going to get you to do is get your tools first. So tools we're going to need to do this. We're going to need a 17 mil wrench. We're going to need a 12 mil wrench, and we're going to need a 10 mil wrench. And usually when we do an oil change, it wouldn't take this many tools, but I'm going to kind of walk you through it and I'll explain why. We're also going to need a funnel and our oil, which we are using AMS oil, 10W40. 10W40 is the recommended oil. This is not a synthetic oil. You don't have to use synthetic. I really like using synthetic once it gets some miles on the bike. Another thing I want to show people is once you get about 1,000 miles on your bike and you're doing an oil change, what I recommend is taking off this cover. If you take off this cover, right behind it, down around this corner, just down here, there is an oil filter. It's just a screen oil filter, but you can take it out, you can have it cleaned, and then you can put it back in. It helps stop debris from going through. But usually, like I said, wait till at least 1,000 miles before you do that. So here we're gonna get started. One of the first things I want you to do is I want you to take off this bolt here for the muffler, and these two bolts here for the muffler. So I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna grab my tools. You'll need your 10 mil and your 12 mil. Okay, so the 10 mil, we're just gonna loosen these off. Just set them there, you don't lose anything. Nope, that one's tight. Okay. And then we're going to go back here to our 12. I'm going to loosen this off. And on this one, there's a little nut on the back. So take that out. And again, it's just mostly on this bike and the Honda Grom that we have to remove these bolts. The x22 and the x22R don't have these problems. Okay, so then we're gonna just pop our muffler down a bit, and I'll show you the reason for this as we go over the other side. All right, now we're gonna take our oil plug out. Now, your oil plug is always on the right side of your bike, always. So the one with the little tab in front, that is your oil plug. So let's take that off. Now, a little bit of oil might get on your muffler. That is not a big deal. I don't want anybody to panic about that. It's not going to cause any fires. We're going to give it a quick wipe when we're done, and then whatever's left on there will just burn off. And I mean, it's not going to be a fire burn, like it's just a tiny little burn. Another thing is people tend to take out this nut here, or this bolt here, I'm sorry. This is actually for your gear shift, so you don't want to play with this. But underneath this, right there, is a spring, and then there's a ball bearing on top. So if you do pop this bolt out, it's not a big deal. You put the ball bearing back in, the spring, and then this. But there's no reason to be taking out this. There's no reason or maintenance to touch this bolt. So we're just gonna let our oil drain out of here. Usually when you let your oil drain out, give it some time. Usually about, say, 10 minutes. You want all the oil to get out. I'd like you to stand your bike up while you're draining the oil, because you want to get all the old oil out. All right, so through I'm gonna let this drain for a few minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, so we are back. It has been seconds. No, I'm just kidding. Through the magic of video, it seems like seconds, but I've let it sit for at least 10 minutes. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back under the engine. We're gonna take a quick peek there, and then we're gonna take our oil plug, shove our oil tray over it, and we're gonna put our oil plug back in. When you are putting your oil plug back in, another recommendation I have is just snug it. A lot of people are over torque these things, and then like you'll never get it out again. So you just have to snug it, like nothing overly tight, just a little snug like that. That's locks tight right there. Anything more than that, you can either break the cast or weld the cast so tight that it never wants to move. So you don't want to over tighten it. Yeah, that's perfect, just like that. All right, so then we're gonna go back around to the other side. And we're gonna put our muffler back on. The easiest way to do this, believe it or not, is to put the front up first. And just hold that there. Take our little bowl, or our little nut here. Another one. We can just finger tight these for now. They don't have to be tightened up yet. Perfect. Again, just finger tight. And we're going to go to our bolt on the back here. I'm going to put it in. We're going to put our nut on. Okay, so that's just on finger tight. And we can take our wrench and tighten it up with my fingers first. Okay, beauty. Then we're gonna come over here to our pins. Just snug them up. Again, don't over tighten them, or you're just gonna, all you're gonna do is your gasket up inside there, you're gonna crush it. It's not gonna work anymore. So just snug. There's no need for heavy end wrenching on these. It's just you're just snugging up into cast. Cast is very easily broken. So our muffler is back on. We have a little bit of drippage on our muffler, but I mean, like, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. A little bit of oil on metal is not bad for it. The little bit of oil that's on there is going to burn off. Again, it's not a big issue. So there's our dirty black oil. Isn't that disgusting, folks? But if you notice, there's no bits in the bottom. It's just dirty oil. Okay, so we're gonna come back up. If you see right on the side of your crank here, it says 800 milliliters. So that's how much oil the bike takes. So you can't overgas, or all you need to do, take your dipstick out. We'll go get our funnel. Every oil can that you buy that has the oil in it, if you notice on the side of them, it has everything for what's in there. So if you notice right now, I have exactly 800 mils of oil in there. So I know if I put this in there. So if you think about it, folks, 800 mils of oil is about 25, 26 ounces. So that gives you a good estimate there for standard instead of metric. So we're gonna go and we're gonna pour oil in. You don't have to pour this fast. If you pour this fast, it's just a little tiny hole. It's just gonna come bubbling out. So just pour it in nice and slow. Almost done here. And there we go. That's my 800 mils of oil. Okay, so all my oil is in. You see I poured all 800 mils. So we're going to come back down here. Take our funnel out. Take our dipstick, put it back in. You can actually check your dipstick if you like. I know I put exactly 800 mils. It says right on the side of my oil canister. So now what I want you to do, but don't just jump on your bike and take off for a ride. That is highly not recommended. What I want you to do is I want you to come up to your bike. I want you to turn your key on. And I want you to go ahead and start it. Okay, your bike's running now, so I want you to take it and rev it up to about 3,000 RPM to 4,000 RPM, just to get the oil going through there. And there you go, folks. That's how you do an oil change. You notice the bike's running perfect. You can check for oil leaks. I know there's no oil leaks right now. I've been working on this bike for a while, but I just wanted you to know. And there you go. And that is how you do an oil change on an X21. The X20 or X22 or any of those bikes, they're basically all the same. The only difference is with the X21 and maybe the Honda Grom or the X20, you have to bring down your muffler. Now, if you look down here, you're going to see a little bit of smoke coming off. I mean, it's not super hot, but I mean, it's going to take the oil off from the little drips that are on it. Maybe give it a quick wipe with a rag. I think my rag has more oil on it than what the muffler does, but anyway, you'll see it smokes a tiny bit. It's not going to burst into flames or anything. As you ride, it will slowly burn off, and your muffler will be clean again, so you don't have anything to worry about there. So I just wanted you all to know, and hopefully you liked the video. So like and subscribe, and if you have any videos that you guys would like filmed, please leave it in the comments below. We will keep an eye on comments, and I will make videos as requested. Alright guys, thank you and have a great day.